Hi everyone, I'm Major. In this video, let's take a look at the management of ArchiWood marks. Layers are also called marks. So, this function is actually for the models in the drawing area. For layer management, we know that SketchUp has a built-in labeling function. We can see it in the right panel of SketchUp. There is a marking function, then this mark and the mark provided by ArchiWood. What's the difference? Next, we will do an explanation and demonstration. First, we click on this icon. We can see a plus sign appears in the upper right corner of the screen. Okay, we can click the icon again. The plus sign disappears when we click the icon and the plus sign appears. We can use it normally. First, we click the plus sign. At this time, it prompts us to select a model and select the object. So, here we click OK. Select a model first. And then click the icon again. OK, then a panel will pop up. We can here to name the marker. We can name it as two-dimensional major here. Click OK. At this time, we can see that a 2D major appears here. We can use the check mark in front to hide it, or check the box, and it will be displayed. So we can see that through this marking function, we can quickly manage the models in the drawing area. To manage the marking. Okay, after we click the plus sign, we can see that the current name is automatically added. The reason is that, because after we combine the model into a cabinet, it has a name. So it will directly obtain the name. We don't need to name it manually, just click OK directly. In this way, we can see that a new label has been created for those without a name. After selecting this object, we click the plus sign. We can manually name it. For example, we name it CAD. Click OK. At this time, we think some of these labels are unnecessary. What should we do? We can click the minus sign behind it to delete it. Click this icon and click Yes to delete the current mark. OK, we click it and click Yes. You can see that the mark is gone. If we need to create it again, after selecting it and click the plus sign. Of course, we can also select multiple objects at once after selecting them and then click the plus sign to create multiple objects to create the corresponding marks. Seeing this, you may think of the built-in labeling tool in SketchUp. The built-in marking tool. Also, by clicking the plus sign here to add a mark and name it. It seems to be similar to the marking tool we use now. Is similar. What's the difference? The first one we just saw can recognize the name here. The second one is actually used to create cabinets. So we're using timber, where ArchiWood, we're creating prototypes of cabinets in the drawing area. To create a simple cabinet, okay, we can remove the inner space here. After drawing the cabinet, we can right-click on the cabinet and click the context menu that pops up to create a combined cabinet. We can name it here. For example, we can name it Cabinet 666 here. Click OK, and we can see that after we create the model, the mark here are actually automatically generated. In this way, we will find that we don't need to manually operate. Okay, we can create another one in the drawing area. Let's create another cabinet here. After creating it, we can directly combine it. For the cabinet creation, let's name it 3 7s here. Okay, we can see that it is automatically created here. Right. This is very convenient, so that we can manage our created models. This is in the process of using some basic functions of ArchiWood marking management. Next, let's take a look at other icons on the top. First, we can use the check mark in front to hide the models in the drawing area. If we need to hide all the models, hide in batches, we can click the check mark at the top to close them all at once, and then check it to show them all. As you can see here, there is an option. This option is lock. When we check the box, It is locked. We can see that after locking, it turns red. Okay, this object is not locked. It's blue. We can check it. It turns red after locking. When it is locked, we edit it now. We can see that. There is no way. We have to delete it. We can delete it by pressing the delete key. There is no way to operate, so this is locking. Of course, we can lock them in batches. We cannot check any objects. Then click on the top. After clicking, it will be locked in batches. We can see that all of them turn red. We can also do it in batches. In this way, we can unlock all of them. There is an arrow in front. This arrow points to the current layer. We can see here. We draw a cabinet. When we select this cabinet, the current marker will be highlighted. When we select this object, after selecting this model, the current marker, it will also be highlighted. Okay, we want to put this cabinet. The cabinet 777, below the mark 666, as long as we select this model. Click the arrow in front of 666. Click it. We can see that. It will be placed below the mark 666. Okay, the mark 777 is not actually controlled. If we want to put it back, the mark of 777, it's very simple. After we select this model, click the arrow in front of the 777 mark. After clicking, we can see that it has been put back. We can also see here. We can see an arrow icon. This two-way arrow can sort the models drawn in the drawing area. We can click this icon. Okay, we can see that the cabinet has been sorted. We can see that the objects in the drawing area have actually been sorted. It is separated by about 3 meters. And then they are automatically sorted. In this way, the models we draw will have an order from left to right, which is good for managing the models. Of course, we can in the drawing area to draw any model. This model doesn't have to be placed on the red axis. We can put it anywhere. For example, we can put it here. After putting it here, we can combine it into a cabinet. Of course, in order to better distinguish, we can draw some graphics here. Let's draw a board here. Okay, and then we combine it into a cabinet. We can name it 3/8 here. Click OK. Next, we click on the two-way arrow again. After clicking it, we can see that it will automatically sort out, and it will be sorted to the back, with a distance of about 3 meters. Of course, there is also an icon here. After you check this icon, its color will change. It will replace the previous texture with color. This is the same as the marking function in SketchUp. Is the same as the color here. We can click on this color block to adjust the current color. This function, we may rarely use it, so we can ignore this icon. Okay, this is what we mentioned. The mark management function of ArchiWood. In this way, it will be more convenient for you to manage the model. It will be more convenient. That's all for this video. Thank you, all.